And I'm super excited to have an old friend on the show today. This is Chef Ryan Nolan. Used to have his own place in Oshkosh for years and years. You may have been there, Water City Grill. And we haven't seen each other in a long time.
No, usually I'm here doing some good day, and I don't stick around long enough to see you afterwards because I got to get back and cook lunch. But
so
it's good to see you.
You too. So Ryan now is the head chef at a restaurant in Oshkosh called Mahoney's. Real casual, great place to grab lunch or dinner. But he's still making some of the recipes that he was known for back in the day, which is really, really cool because he has some secrets, and they are, they're going to be out today. We have to beg him to make his meatloaf sometime, but you do still serve the meatloaf at the restaurant?
We do. It's one of those things I could just never leave behind. It's followed me forever.
The most unique meatloaf you've ever, well, I promise, we will get him on the show to make it sometime, but he also makes the best ever tomato basil bisque. And you know, I think people try and do this at home, or they don't even try. They're just like, you know what, that's something I'm going to wait to have out at a restaurant. But it's very simple.
It is. I mean, if you look at it, what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ingredients if you count the salt and pepper and the garnish. I mean, it's stupid easy. And we actually came up with this soup when I first opened Water City years ago. It was opening night. Our first trial run, we had no soup made. We're like, we have to make something really fast. So that's when this came up, and then it just became a monster of its own.
You know, and I think soup is one of those things that can take all day. You know, the celery, the onion, the carrot. And sometimes it's fun on a rainy day when you're home, but sometimes you need to get dinner on a hurry, you know, in a real hurry. So this is a great go-to. Grilled cheese. And you've got a fantastic meal. So one of the secrets, though, is the tomatoes that we're going to start with.
Yeah, I like using a fire-roasted tomato. You can find it in the tomato section with all the other canned tomatoes. You can use fresh, take them, grill them, you know, and make fresh tomatoes.
That would be a lot of work.
It'd be a lot of work. So use this fire-roasted tomato that you can get at the grocery store. It's got a little smokiness to it and a little extra flavor.
You can actually even see like the charred
bits of char.
And it used to be a little bit harder to find years ago when we made the soup. It was like, what are you talking about? And it was only available for restaurants to order. But now I see it at the grocery store all the time, and you'll find it right, like you said, sometimes in the organic section, but now Hunt's makes it, other brands make it, it's right there, fire roasted. So how many cans?
Well, you know, my cans are big number 10 cans.
Yes.
So what I did is I just broke it down to cups. So you're going to do about 6 cups.
Okay. That's about 4 cans.
Okay, you would know more than me. I don't think I've ever bought a can of. My wife buys all that stuff for home. So, well, anyway, so we're going to start out with the 6 cups of tomato.
Okay, with the juice.
With the juice. Don't drain it off because we need all that extra flavor.
Okay.
And then we've got 2 cups of heavy cream. So it's a little bad for you, and 2 cups of half and half. So if you're going to make this, make it only once in a while.
Okay.
You know, don't make it every day.
It is fantastic, though. It
but
really
we have
is.
this great
Lamers,
cream.
we love Lamers half and half, and their heavy cream. It's fantastic stuff.
And it's great stuff.
So we just dump this all in.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things that it's so stupid easy. You're gonna kick yourself like, boy, I could have made this the whole time, but I didn't ever want to tell anybody that because the whole point is to get you to come and spend money. That's why I get paid. So, anyways, to that we have 3 tablespoons of dried basil.
And that's another thing. People are like, that much basil? Could that be right? Basil's not really strong, so it really...
Especially when it's the dried form.
Right.
You know, but the reason I like using the dried is it's available year-round. You know, if we're trying to use fresh basil in the middle of winter in Wisconsin here, it's coming from either Mexico or Hawaii or something, and it's $10, $12 a pound. That amount right there is going to cost you a lot of money in fresh basil. So if we use some dried, we can make it all year round, and then we can just garnish with some fresh.
And you know, once you cook it in there anyway, you're
just melding all the flavors.
So 3 tablespoons, that is correct, of dried basil. So we've got that half and half heavy cream, fire roasted tomatoes, dried basil, a little bit of sugar.
Yeah, sugar just to kind of take the edge off, because you know when you're making a marinara sauce or a pizza sauce, a lot of time you're caramelizing your onions and your garlic, and that's what's giving you the sweetness to kind of balance the acidity of the tomatoes. Well, we have nothing in here. We have the richness from the cream, and we have the acidity from the tomatoes. We need something to kind of mellow out that acidity so it's not so pungent.
Okay,
so
but it's not a sweet
bit of sugar. It's not a sweet soup.
Don't worry, it's very savory.
It's just the sugar to take the edge off that acid. And then we would just you know, a little salt and pepper now if you wanted, or if not, you could bring this up to a boil, and then you're going to use an immersion blender to puree it and make it smooth, and then you would taste it. Boy, I could use a little bit more salt, and it's really to your taste. If you like a saltier soup, add more salt. If you like less, add less.
So let's go ahead and give this a whirl. This is a great trick because you don't have to put it in a blender, and if you start making this soup a lot,
especially if it's hot.
Yeah.
You're not going to, you know, because then you're going to put too much in, you're going to turn it on, the steam's going to blow the lid off, and then you're going to burn the cat or something, you know?
Or have a red kitchen, which I've done that before. Because it will completely explode, so this thing works great.
Yeah. So
just let that puree for a little bit. Taste to see if salt and pepper is needed.
Yeah, so you would get it all pureed, and it's up to you how thick or thin you want it, or excuse me, how smooth or chunky you want it.
This is
so
perfect.
We do ours like almost smooth. There's still a little bit of the body of the tomato, so when you taste it, you can actually almost chew the tomato a little bit.
Is it always on the menu?
Yeah, it is.
Every day?
Every day.
What do you guys like to serve it with?
Actually, you know, it's an option that you could have just on its own. So you can get a cup or a bowl. You could have it as your starter. In the past, I've done it before with a caraway rye and 4-year-old cheddar grilled cheese sandwich.
Oh yeah, now we're talking.
I mean, we're in Wisconsin. You're going to find some great 4-year-old cheddar around here, and a great caraway rye. I think just blends so well with this.
So a little fresh basil over the top.
Yeah.
You could do a little Parmesan cheese if you wanted. That looks fantastic.
And then there you go.
Secrets out on that.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to make it, you can get it at Mahoney's all the time in Oshkosh. Ryan's going to stick around and make homemade vinaigrettes, and we have the secret to making a really great steak. So stay with us.